teachers, we are on week 18 and this is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. You're going to work closely with a science project that we've done a couple weeks ago, and so you'll use those materials that should be in the bag. And that's just the only materials you need are the fish air line, and then you need to have a bottle of some type. And you can just scavenger through the church or wherever you're meeting and find a bottle. You could even use a big paint bottle if you have one available, or you could make something out of a sheet of paper and just curve it into a cone shape. So it's very simple to do that part. So we're going to wait on that part until just a second. Each of your children will receive 2 boxes. These are just these are Chinese rice boxes. Now have your children think outside of the box. Don't give them the boxes already made into the little Chinese rice box, because you want them to think of many different ways that they can do this project. So start out with talking about the 7 wonders of the ancient world. These were things like the Lighthouse of Alexandria, which is one of my favorite, where they actually used mirrors as they went up the lighthouse. And they had these huge fires, and the fires burned for, I think, hundreds of years. I need to check that fact, but I know it was way over 100 years, and I think it was several hundred years. They burned consistently, 24 hours a day for hundreds of years, and the light was reflected by mirrors as it went up, and then it went out into the Mediterranean. That is amazing. It's amazing how large it was. It's amazing that this type of engineering existed. And what it makes us realize is that engineering is a basic human talent. Engineering abilities have been around since the beginning of time. We tend to think that we've somehow gotten smarter or something like that because of the computer age, because things are going so much faster. But those brilliant skills, they have been around forever, and we can harness those in our own children. And that's what we're doing through our art and science this year. And we're just trying to harness that ability to think through problems and to respond to problems creatively. And so what we're going to do at the Hanging Gardens is each child is going to be given 2 boxes. And they can put these boxes like this. That's kind of cute. Or they could have them side by side, or maybe like this to the side. They can do however they want. So make sure you don't give them too many set ideas of what they should do. And they're going to take their flowers, and we put dirt down. I just like dealing with dirt. If you don't want to deal with dirt, that's okay. If you want to have dirt, go outside, get a couple shovels full so that they can glue it to their hanging garden. And if you don't want to, it's okay. Not everyone is as organic as I am. So they might have like a little flap go out. That would be kind of cute, something like that, as a terrace. And basically Nebuchadnezzar, now you remember Nebuchadnezzar, right? He was the guy who captured the Israelites. Remember, he killed many of them, and he took the ones that would be most useful to him back to Babylon. So they had to walk in the desert for over 500 miles. That's a lot of walking in shackles, and it was probably extremely miserable. Several of those people who he took were Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Remember the story? I'm sure you do because you've listened to it. So basically, he had this wife, and he had bargained with another king for this wife, but he really loved her. And he brought her back to Babylon, and it's a desert. And it's hot and dry and it's icky. And she was more from the Iranian area of Persia, or from Persia. And that had some beautiful mountains, and it was cool, and it had flowers and vegetation. And she missed that terribly. And so she really wanted to go home. She was very homesick. And so Nebuchadnezzar had this built for her as a way to help her to want to stay in Babylon. He built these hanging gardens, and they were considered so beautiful and so wonderful. And so he had the hanging gardens. He basically had a mountain built, and then he had it right by the river, and he had water drawn up from the river, probably using either shut-offs where they were pumping, or something like Archimedes screw. So your students will know what to do with this. This is really fun. And what you're going to do is you're just going to wrap this around the bottle, and then you can cut off the part you don't need, like to here. And then you're going to put this, actually cut it off a little bit longer. You're going to put this in water, and then you're going to just screw the bottle, and you'll see the water will go around the screw and it'll eventually rise. So this is what you'll do at the very end, but it'll be like how you water. Don't let the water go all the way up and out, or you can just show them this maybe without the water, because we don't want to totally drench their creations. So they will build just like Nebuchadnezzar did. They'll be thinking of the process through how they're going to water it as they build. So discuss that with them. Ask them, are you going to use Archimedes screws? Are you going to use little things to dump the water? The mountain was close to the river, so they had a source of water, but they had to get it all the way up, and they had to do it every day. And then the next thing they're going to do is perhaps paint this. So have out in tins with your paintbrushes, whole bunch of paints. We do reuse these tins. Whole bunch of paints so they can paint this, and then they're going to stick on copious amounts of flowers, lots and lots and lots of flowers, and they're going to make this beautiful. Now if they ask for maybe some cardstock paper, I'm sure you have some in the box that you can give to them. They might want to make leaves, or they might want to make a brown trail so that the queen could walk on it, something like that. So have them think of all of the aspects of a garden. How would they make it soft for her feet? Would they put some moss down? How would they make it smell good? Maybe at home they can like squirt it with a little perfume or something like that. How would they make it with trees on this? Maybe they could tear off some of this and form it into a little tree. So just let them, the whole purpose of this is to let them dream and explore and think. And remember, as they're working, I know you're already this far into the game, you're already at week 18, which is pretty far, but keep in mind that playing that week's Eden Hope music is a really great way to help them to think without chatting, and try to keep that chatter down unless it's about the project, so that all of the students can concentrate. All right? Thank you so much. See you later.